Citizens, how's your spirit? Give me a moment at this time. I'm just attempting to align this in the best way possible. And I can't change the orientation of my live, so we're just going to deal with what we got. My other device is charging. I wanted to explain to you what you're missing in the algorithm. I don't know if this will be a patch or not. You can try it. That's all I can tell you. Okay. Um, the fourth element is the spirit. It's dark matter. And when you truly do not believe in God or anything but the science, you set aside the paranormal, which is the spirit in and of itself, and the spirit realm and all that it entails. So when I come online and I say to you, where two or more of you are gathered, 111 o'clock as I started, there goes God. No matter what you believe God to be, it's the God particle. And from what I understand, the fourth element is beryllium. At least that's what the research was then. But the fourth element is a thing that exists around human beings. I'm getting ready to change them too. I'll pull my sheet out. Mhm. I know. Yes. Exactly. There's some paranormal frequent stuff going on. And I think that we're at the moment in history where there's more of it happening. That's all. Okay, okay. Okay. Oh, well, that's fine. I think the rest of the world is just finding out that they have a little bit of a panic attack. Me, I just think it's funny. I think it's funny. If you know God and you know your history, you know you're fine out here. If you don't know either of those two things, oh, definitely. That's the emperor's new groove. They sit on your shoulder and talk to you. Some of us have learned not to listen to. On the one side, you got the Puritan angel, just gotta be good all the time. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. I learned to stay neutral and just be kind of in the middle because I believe in moderation in everything. Right? When you do that, mhm, it does. Very true. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I got a salad yesterday and I was surprised that it was only one serving because it was so large. But it was tofu, which is what made up the difference. But I don't think that people recognize that. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Right. Right. And not every day. You have to process it. I just I like meat flavored vegetables. Yeah, that's it. I think, yeah, like I said, we have to go. For most people, they need to go back to their old ways of eating. Like when they were small children, it would really help their stomachs as they get older because it's what you know. And you used to try this and get this new processed, organic, wibbledy wobbledy food that isn't real food is making people sick. That part. It takes 12 years to become an organic farm, or it used to at least. And then, I mean, that means 12 years of laying fallow, and then you can plant. Who's going to make money? That's why it costs $900 for a banana. No, when you can just grow your food and just think, I know it sounds counter intuitive, but for instance, because we are on here, you may know this, so forgive me if I'm speaking to the choir. But the land that we live on, if we grow everything here, eat it, it will help us to fight off the cooties and infections that come in from other places and purge our systems of the things that are here that we don't want. Exactly. I people get mad at me because I believe in survival of the fittest. So while yes, polio saved the vaccine saved a lot of lives, I think it, but here's the thing, because it comes with a certain level of fairness. If you look at something like the movie 300, dude with a hunchback was still allowed to roam the world. They just didn't make any special alterations for him. That's survival of the fittest, if you ask me. Why can't that be? And that's the thing, though. That's what people need to be trained for. Don't bullet unless you intend to use it. Again, I'm not a what's the word? A gunsmith. I'm a sharpshooter with a knife. I'm chef by trade, so it's me, fire, and the Holy Spirit. The one thing that I wield as my weapon is my tongue. If I choose to point that at someone, that's it. I've been a praying mother and child my whole life. Mhm. hmm I think that the first time a katana came into my house, I almost lost my stuff. I just told him to put it in storage. We, because I have sons, didn't believe in having guns in the home. Can I shoot? Yes. Am I most proficient with a weapon, with a gun? No. Am I proficient with all weapons, though? Yes, I can pass my marksmanship, right? Um, and then just depending on what it is, there is no culinary equivalent, so to speak, for nice skills in comparison to being able to actually kill somebody. It's two different things. But if you train and you understand, then you can turn that into anything, right? And I think that's where the government got it right when they went from whatever they were doing before as military training to army combatives and mixed martial arts. We just need to bring back the old art, right? We're too reliant on bullets and computers and modern technology when mentally man has to be fit enough to fight in the first place, right? And if you can't personally uh, make someone bleed, you're gonna hesitate cutting using a gun. Mm. Hmm. Right. And I think, right, weaponize the mind. Hmm. Because, in, yeah. And then on top of that, we've got Call of Duty and we've got Minecraft. We've got them getting younger and younger playing these games that are built on war, but they're fighting one another. And they know that. They know that there's not an invisible enemy, which means that in their own heads, they're looking at everyone around them as the enemy. We have to reduce that level. That level of narcissism is supposed to exist at like 30 something, coming into middle age, just before what they call that, midlife crisis, right? That's when that level of narcissism begins to kick in, right? Because that's when we start to think of ourselves as what have we done versus what we could have done versus the world around us. And if we can't catch a hold of that, we get stuck there. But now we've got children who are there and they're nowhere near 40. You understand? The social media addiction is real because these games, they go online and play them and then they buy the little things. And that's what gets them addicted. It's not the playing it so much, it's the being able to go and get something that no one else has. And you and I came up at a time where if you were able to get something that no one else has, you were not liked. You were the exact opposite of what it is today. People shunned you, they mistreated you. They were like, you are nobody to me, right? And now today they've made them celebrities, right? Right. And it's all based on talent. Me, I'm a girl scientist. I'm a woman scientist today. But as a young girl scientist, it always bothered me that I didn't get to see me, right? This and then when we get to the point where we've got STEM and we're coming into our own history, then you got people who don't want to admit that we were always there. We were just hidden, so to speak, right? And it's not until we stand up and fight and push back, though, the entire women's empowerment fight. There's a difference between brilliant women, and women of color. And they're not, we have to stop with the intersectionality and accept that some people happen to have a certain level of talent worthy of being seen in high regard. That was Jesus. Exactly. Exactly. The same rate of pay that he would get if he were to do the position. Right. No one's asking for special treatment the way that others would think. It's just that women have had to fight in this country to get any of it, and they haven't finished that fight. Until women break through the glass ceiling that is the presidency, it won't change. Only because, by comparison, the president is the CEO of the country. So if you got the CEO of the country, and then you've got 19 other CEOs, and they're all men, the likelihood of a woman being able to break in is slim to none. Simultaneously, what we need is feminine energy in power. Now, we are angry and bullying and warring, and that is a natural projection of excess masculinity. And if we don't find some way to temper men's desire to go to war, which I really just believe, you put some pretty women out there who are intelligent and you make them have to fight for a chance to talk to them, that'll calm down a lot of dudes. It's spring. It's hot. They just, just calm down a little bit. That might make it more entertaining, though, because then they know that they can't get it and they're still going to try. I'm not, we're not going to, don't you do that. Don't you, if you reduce me to a Mr. Go ahead. Keep it in there. You, it's, are you not afraid right now with Donald Trump having his hands on the nuclear weapons? Okay, okay, but he doesn't have a mental cycle. I mean, a menstrual cycle. He just has a complete, total mental meltdown. So you talking about 1 week where she ain't even got to have and remember, she's got to be over 35, and if she's over 50, she's more than likely not even close. So just don't piss her off. Just talking to the men. The ladies get it. They gonna start throwing period pads at you. I know you are, but listen, because you have earned that in your life. I think certain people have learned, earned a certain level of curmudgeonliness, is what I call it. And mhm. All right, me either. Me either. There was that. Right. That okay. So okay, the first thing that I saw her do that irritated me was when she flipped and she joined the Biden team. If you have an argument that includes him being the reason you couldn't ride a certain bus, why would you then get on his bus? You understand? So I couldn't vote for either one, and because then Biden. Okay, Biden said an ignorant comment when he said, "You're not black enough if you don't vote for me." But it was a choice between him and this dude, and I had to bust a move at that time. But then you get Kamala. Who else is it? Him and Jill and Hillary. You got Jill, Hillary, and Kamala running Joe with his dementia. You understand? And anyone who understands, no, no. Yep. And that's what they're trying to do now is find somebody that they can manipulate. Say that again? Oh, hell no. No. She's the female equivalent, if you ask me. She could be. Well, you would know more than I would. I've heard that about them. But I heard that about the Obamas too. Because the Obama chef died. That was tragic. Um, well, here's what I say, right? In my perspective, since we've had a Manchurian candidate, which would be Ronald Reagan, the presidency has basically just been a holding cell for someone who would have otherwise known enough to be 86 out here, right? If you look, let's take Obama because you think because I'm black, I'm into that, or Kamala. But anyway, let's take Obama. We had Barack Hussein Obama assist in the taking out of Saddam Hussein and Bin Laden. Couldn't be because he knew something. Couldn't see be because where he from Chicago, which is a nexus close to the Detroit area where many a Muslim would be. Couldn't be because he may have saw something. Yeah, I mean, and Obama had this much more political experience than Trump has. That and he was in the Illinois State House for like yep. Then he got reelected. He got reelected for it, and then gave up for the presidency. You know what that means, right? I'm sure you do. But I was living in Illinois at the time. Oh, didn't Kwame Kilpatrick end up on charges around that time? We had three governors leave office without being voted out in a row. They, I think you should call Regina Romero and tell her the story of the people from your previous government, because she about to be next on the list to be in handcuffs, or in Chris Nano. They were all embezzled. It's like Illinois broke now. Illinois State owes me for unpaid tax refunds from 2008 to 2015. Yeah, that's how Detroit ended up having to file for bankruptcy. I get here by way of AmeriCorps, and I was required to give a SWOT analysis of the nonprofits in this city. Why do you think? Now, for the record, I worked under the Trump administration when I came here. COVID hit, and then I'm under the Biden administration, but everything shuts down in March. Okay. Now on the other side of it, all the Democrats are like, shh. But I'm like, remember when I gave the SWOT analysis telling you that the city was in danger of the following things? And then Nancy Guthrie goes missing. Now everybody cares, right? And so I'm done. I'm like, do you not gonna where they may have been able to duck and move and get out from underneath it? You got a celebrity's mama going missing. Only have a problem with what's going on with Republican in office. Mm-hmm. That Obama, Biden, Clinton, all voted more to ICE. You have to be trying to catch up. There was no problem with them doing it. Can I be honest? Again, you've gone overseas. I've gone overseas. You've learned the language. I learned the language. You got the vaccines. I got the vaccine. Even if I didn't want to, I did what I had to do to be able to get my passport and go. No, I did it. And then that's why I got the COVID vaccine. My son is in school at the time. And it's my students all undergraduate kids. I did not want to get sick and get sick, take it to the kids, and work out the whole kids. That is the only reason why right. I took the shot. Okay. Otherwise, I would not have. Yeah. He's they're trying to call y'all back up right now. Anybody who got out because they didn't want to get it again, and I really think they're going to do everything, and including institute the draft and try to force folks back in because they've raised the age now to 40 something. I'm still too old. That's where I'm at. I'm like, I'm too old and I need a waiver, and you just pushed my baby out by way of retention, so you can't then force him to come back in. It makes absolutely no sense, right? Simultaneously, I think that we need to get on top of the VA and get as far as separated financially from the federal government as the DOD can get the VA. Because everything in our lives has hinged on somebody's last four. And so we were the first ones to be outed by way of Doge getting everybody's social security information. And then it's questioning whether or not we have a disability, whether or not we're worthy of having social security and disability access along with veterans of disability. We had to do 20 something years over here and then 20 something years over here. You gotta listen to you bitch for another 20 years before we can get a check? I don't think so. Hell no. That's absolutely insane to me. The fact that my baby did 6 years, I feel like he has done all of the service that he ever should do, and he need to get him a nice little retirement check for the 6 years that he did for the rest of his life. Should he go on and do civil service, you add on to them 6 years until he gets to Howard. My dad was 26 years. Maybe. You see? Then he got out, went to school, his last 4 years here, so they paid for him. Right. Worked for the VA as a manual arts therapist. Hmm. See? Retired from them. Mm-hmm. They went back to work doing voiceovers on the radio. Because we don't know how to sit still. No, he doesn't. Yeah. And he did that. He died. But this is the thing. But he was only working 3 hours a day, a couple 3 days a week. Right. I think that the way that it should be is commensurate with the time in service and the time that people have been out here supporting what they did before, right? So me, I've been in the volunteer services my whole life. There's no paycheck for that. But the equivalent, when I go to apply for Social Security and disability, I should be given full access because I gave my body to it. You should, the volunteer stuff should be used towards your retirement project. Exactly, right? Instead, and I've already met the retirement project twice. You see? And you should be able to the first time you meet it. But see, here's the thing: if you meet, if we the first time you meet the retirement cap, if we give you a small stipend, right, that reduces your need to continue working as much. The next time you meet it, just add on to the stipend. The next time that you meet it, until you reach the actual age of retirement, and then you can withdraw the rest of your benefits. That would be all of the other stuff that you did over here on this side. We owe people for the time in service in the military where they could have gotten a lot more money had they been working for civilians. Disability check from Sheriff's Department. Mm, I get that already. Right. I have account that was started by my dad back when I was 12. Congratulations on that. So I'm not living like social security. I think more people should be. Which I will take early retirement. Still get about 17. Right. It's just a seen application from them. Right. I'm not hurt. I won't be hurt. My perspective is this: uh, if people who have gone through, separate from civilians and whatnot, right, choose to then go on and make more money, as long as it's like the part-time thing, whatever. When it becomes a business that makes enough money for them to exist and get and create and or buy their own insurance financially, then we need to ask them to either pay some taxes on what you're overproducing by way of income. They actually do. Okay. If like at 62, I can retire early retire because it is not a full amount, full retirement amount, which would be 67 per week. I can work 24 hours nights a week. Okay. I will not pay taxes on the Social Security, but I would pay taxes on the 24 hours that I actually work. That makes this. That's gotta be how they do the VA benefits too. What makes the most sense. Get full retirement age. Right. You can work as many hours as you want. Your body lets you. And you don't have to pay back into taxes at all. Or you do. You would still have to pay taxes on it. It's anything just, you make. Okay. But you'll also get anything besides your Social Security. See, from the ages of from the age of 62 to 67, if I go over that 24 hours, then the government has a 2 for 1. That makes sense. But so technically, every 2 hours over you make, they take one. That makes sense. But you telling me that Warren Buffett basically can live off of his interest and Social Security, and that's it. If people wonder why we don't like billionaires, didn't that seem a little bit not to you, but a little audacious to be like, yeah, I'm worth $9 trillion, but I'm gonna take this little retirement check, this one. Yeah, he should not. He should not collect Social Security. Nah, because somebody's grandmama is eating cat food because he is taking Social Security. Yes, he could wake up on his interest alone and still be fine. Like hustling backwards. America is hustling backwards. Because we are trying to shore up Social Security rather than. Yes, but you know what those other countries are, right? Southeast Asia. Socialist society. Yeah, but Southeast Asia China, they it's their upbringing. That's all Southeast Asia upbringing. You take it, they're very much family oriented. Right. They take care of their own. Yes. The kids get raised by the parents. Once the parents reach a certain age, they move in as kids and are taken care of the grandchildren until they're done. It is. And even if you see they help out on the street, you don't know them. Yep. They go home. Yep. It's well, there's a term for it, and I can't think of it at the moment. Um, the Japanese do it also. Um, family line, children, whatever, study, right? And that's what America is missing. We don't believe in multi-generational homes. We believe in throwing our children to the wolves at 18. Like I said, we do everything backwards. You should be in your parents' home until 25 or 30. Right, right. The very first time that someone I cared about ended up in a nursing home, I literally walked away from the rest of the family because I couldn't understand. We had just watched my mother pass away from stomach cancer, and we all came home. But then to turn around and go back to Memphis and find out that the person I love had been allowed to die in a nursing home, I lost my biscuits. I was very upset, very upset. And so then the next time that I go back to visit that house, there's so much negative, dark energy, and I had spoken to a gentleman that I know, or that I met. Uh, I was getting an Uber drive that day, but he was a pastor from Memphis. And I asked him if he thought perhaps Memphis was cursed for allowing Martin Luther King to die there in the first place, right? When we know what we know about our government history and how these things happen, anyone who's unwilling to accept that as truth is under an illusion that we don't have to rectify that physical crime. America did the worst thing possible recently. I don't know if you know this, but there was a UN resolution that was put forward by Ghana that basically said that chattel slavery and slavery of Africans from back then was a crime against humanity that we're still seeing repercussions from today. The specific people who would not um, pass the resolution, the enslavers of today, and then it's makes America an embarrassment because America said no the same way as these other people who we know are actively doing so. It means we never got out of bed with them. That's to me. But thank you. Mm. Now y'all understand that dark matter at hand, that blob underneath the seas, coming for people, the wonky weather from above, meteorites. Think of it like this. During the transatlantic slave trade, they threw babies away, overboard. Men and women and children who couldn't make it. They threw them overboard. They also had burials at sea. You buried Bin Laden at sea, did you not? Could it be that that's the source of the negative energy returning to its place of origin, which would be here in this country? Because you made him their leader, commander in chief, and then you had our commander in chief delete him as one human weapon of mass destruction against his brethren. Because whether or not he was a practicing anything, he was born of the same. There is something in a name. My name being Janine, Genesis, in the beginning. And God said, let there be light. I am the way, the truth, and the word. Jesus is the light. I shineth on thee. God giveth, God taketh away. I beam brightness to you every day. And you found a way every day to diminish yourself to the point of unworthiness. Now, if you don't think that's unholy, I don't know what is. You refuse as a common society to accept the criminality of slavery then and today, which is why we are all in agreement that you will be forced into servitude. Everyone who is in agreement with the United States not signing the UN resolution, being unwilling to commit as a member of NATO, that means you will no longer have access to UN peacekeeping. You will not have access to your NATO ally. So, because your city sold their soul to the Saudis, y'all can't go. You will be left here to deal with the caliphate. You allowed terrorists, fundamentalists, foreign and domestic, of multiple religions, races, and generations to infect and further violate the nation with your arrogance and belief that as illiterate as you are in this city, you can defeat foreign intelligence agents. Look to your left and your right. They are in your office, bitch. The persons close to you are one of the following: a terrorist, an agent, an op, or a federal agent from any other governmental persuasion in any other nation, to include the United Nations. Tucson, by comparison, is very similar to the UN by way of you being a city of gastronomy. So I'm asking you to consider this with your gut and your head and not your fucking heart. You're going to want to be smart here and listen clearly to what's being said out here. Your city is under attack. You have been overrun by a sleeper cell of fundamentalist terrorists. They do not have a race of origin, a country of origin, or a religion of origin, so to speak. They are fundamentalists. They fundamentally want to see this country go to hell in a handbasket. Are you a fascist? Are you an anarchist? Are you a communist? These things are not allowed to exist under the American Constitution. If these are the things that you believe in, you need to go to the nearest authority and turn yourself in. You will be convicted of treason. You are a domestic terrorist, and you worked with foreign agents overseas to infiltrate the United States government. That includes the United States President, Elon Musk, the Doge employees, and any lingering entities inside of those agencies who assisted those people in terrorizing United States citizens by way of stealing their social security information, mirroring their devices, stealing their passwords, cloning their phones, and making them believe that they were otherwise crazy, which is a psyop. It's a psychological operation, which is what propaganda is. And at this level, it was psychological warfare against an entirely clueless group of individuals. Lucky for you, I know Project Bluebeam, Project MK Ultra, Mockingbird, Paperclip, and the things necessary to protect the people in your city long enough for them to get boots on ground and protect you in the spirit and the computer systems. Please understand the dark matter that your information travels through is the dark matter that others use to capture your information by way of thought to text technology. Using your phones, your clones, your devices, they captured your thoughts in text, and then they did everything else to make you protect your information. Virtual blackmail. Because you felt yourselves being outed and you couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It was your own government, the city of Tucson. If you had EBT, you had one of them government phones, you. You got a student loan, you. Now do you understand? How many people in your city, state, or country have student loan debt? Have ever had a government cellular phone or an EBT or government insurance? Now, take out the number of people who are United States military, and connected. Put them in a separate group entirely. Because the government's always used them as the metric. Donald Trump knew this when he came into office the first time. He is my Judas. So when he goes out of office and he collects all those classified documents, they have my information. I was hidden in plain sight. Me being a genius is my right to share with you when and if I so choose. And as you can see, I don't have to. I can play real dumb. I can play real fucking slow. Remember that scene, Game of Thrones, earlier? I'm the mother of the Stark children. If if Sansa is the firstborn girl of Catelyn Stark, you see, and Arya is her second-born daughter. And in this fictional time in history, these particular women did indeed stay at home and raise and birth their children, and she was willing to claw her way back from death for her firstborn son. And I told you I've already done that for mine. What do you think I'm going to do for the rest of my bloodline? I didn't choose this. The president did. He thought winter was over with. This is just the beginning. You know who's on my side in this? Yes, Arnold motherfucking Schwarzenegger. A German citizen y'all wouldn't allow to be president, but you let him be president of California. See? You see, Donald, here's what's known as a kingmaker, or in this case, queen. And for the rest of you, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the American political game, it is the exact same as any other court. So, Donald, once again, the ball is in your court. Your kingmaker chose me. And you can bend a knee, you can leave, you can do whatever you want, but we're over the hypocrisy. I'm leading from wherever it is that I sit at this moment in history. Because there is not a motherfucking Democrat who can keep up with me. You demon rats can't even speak of the language of metaphysics, let alone the science necessary to get us to the outer realm. Did you feel it? Time stopped twice, three times. You're gonna deny me three times as the crows fly. Right? So we're talking about Game of Thrones. It's not crows we're worried about. It's ravens. Pigeons are carriers of disease and filth. They're basically rodents, rats with wings, bats, and Democrats are dingbats. I just call them demon rats. I want you to find a black scientist, not Neil deGrasse Tyson, who can speak the language that I speak, along with Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, and the other birds you've been preying upon. You know, those of us who have messages that we bring you of what's true out here and what we need to see as reality. Now, you falsified documents, Donald, and you did a lot of devious things. Yet it seems that as part of your immunity agreement, as long as you come clean, you can remain You know, king in name only. You can remain president in name only. You're a lame duck. And what's next? That's it. So if you all don't do your due diligence, put Nanos, Virginia Romero, and the rest of these folks in prison, I will, as soon as I'm in office, not out of revenge nor vengeance, justice. Justice delayed is justice denied, and I will not be denied. Neither will the American citizens, nor will our allies, nor will the United Nations at this time. So it's time for you all to decide. From what I can tell, it is 1722, Thursday, March 26, 2026. The United States Congress was planning on leaving to go home for Easter. That means it's the high holy days. This is not the day to be playing with your motherfucking face. Now you might want to go to God and come to the people correctly, and you ain't got long. Because I feel like some of y'all done already went home. You better pick up the phone, call back, and do something. Because honey, I'm putting it real simple. If for any reason I am sleeping outside tonight and not eating good, somebody gonna pass over. It's gonna be a hell of a Passover too. Yep. Yeah, I might as well usher that shit on in. You picked your poison in the end. I don't know what to tell you. I do. Let's just say I ain't telling you shit. You haven't earned it.